Hey guys, I'm MeeMee and I do Allsorts, and welcome to a fabulously gloomy day right here in the UK. But anyway, I'm finally onto the 2022 Scrawlrboxes. Yes! So as you can see, we've got in January's box, and so if you don't know, Scrawlrbox is a mystery ad supply box here in the UK. Not sponsored, not affiliated, and let's just jump right into it. Okay, so first off we have the Scrawlrbox, and I really do love these colours. I love very autumn colours, so this is really beautiful. So this has everything from our supplies, information about the featured artist, and even hints and tips. Ooh, this is cool. I really do love the fact how our character here is in black and white, and even the background as well, and just like a pop of colour, and I think it works really nicely. So this is our featured artist, Roots. Ooh, and they're from Birmingham, UK. There's their info if you would like to see more. Alright, and our paper for this month is paint on mixed media paper, and it looks like it's smooth. It's A5 115 GSM, which is £115. And you get 10 sheets, and it's by one of my favourite brands, Clairefontaine. I really do love this brand. I have a lot of papers from them, and I do highly recommend looking into their paper because honestly it's top notch, and I haven't even tried this yet. So on the inside I can feel that it's quite smooth. It's almost like cartridge paper. It is so thick. I really do like that. So we've got really good heavy duty paper here. So I'm intrigued to see exactly what it is I'm going to be using with this. Speaking of which brings us on to our supplies. So first off we've got our scroller sticker, the same pattern as on the Scrawlrbox. Our instruction list that we're not going to look at, and ooh. Okay, so first up we've got this H pencil. I am not really a big fan of H pencils because they're a bit too hard for me, and you know, then it's just down to personal preference. Right, and next we've got this Confine liner in a 12. Okay, never seen that one before. Ho ho! Look at that chunky boy. Got a lot of Sakura microns, and I do not have one in this size. In fact, I don't think I've seen any like past size 10 before, so I'm super looking forward to using this. We are definitely going to get some thick lines out of this one. Right, and on to the main event, which is one of my other favourite brands, Karin. So these Pigment Deco brushes. Alright, and this was what was inside. So we've gone to 4 different colours. We've got a brown, a red, an orange and a yellow. I've just read on the side that this is acrylic permanent ink. So I wonder if these are actually the brand new paintbrushes that I'm seeing floating about YouTube. Hold on. Yeah, they are. It says there acrylic paint. Oh. So these are paint pens. Now I've seen Chloe Rosanne use these and they looked amazing. So I'm actually really looking forward to trying these out. And they do actually come in a lot of different colours as well, which you don't get with Poscas. So, right, and last but not least, our sweet of the month is Tango and Cherry Shockers. Now, I love anything cherry flavoured, and I love anything sour. But the problem is I can never find anything sour enough that makes me drool. So I would love to see how this fares later. Okay, so now it's the fun part for me at least, which is I get to try out all of these supplies. So I'm testing out the pencil. Yep, works like a pencil, feels like a pencil, but to tell you what, there's actually quite a lot of resistance on this paper, but like I said, this is a hard lead, so you are going to get some resistance, but the paper feels quite nice actually. Right, and now on to the chunky boy. Oh, wow. Okay, now that is super thick. I love it. And you do get some really nice control with this as well, which I super love. Okay, so now on to these Karin Pigment Deco Brush paint markers. Well, now I have to say I am super impressed with these paint markers. The tips are like very spongy, so you can get into like these really interesting little details. You know, and thicker lines, thinner lines, ones that are shaped like leaves, but for me personally, I like to have a bit more of a firmer nib. This one is like a little bit too squishy. And that's down to personal preference, and I have to admit I absolutely love these colours. They do sort of match up with the caps. All except for the brown one, which is like way darker. But other than that, I absolutely love the vibrancy of these colours. Okay, and so apparently we can blend these together, and I don't know how that's going to work on this paper, but we're going to try. Well, yes and no. You can actually get a blend, but unfortunately on this paper, as soon as I went over it with the red, it started pulling up the paper, which is not good. So I'd probably go in the different paper. I'm not entirely sure what. Unfortunately, I don't know what paper works with paint pens, but probably not mixed media. You can get into a nice flat colour with these, which is what I really do like. And not only that, but listen. It doesn't make a noise when you shake it. Whereas with the Poscas and other paint pens, you get like a little ball in the barrel. And when you shake it, it makes an absolute rack, but this makes no noise whatsoever. I really do love how thin the barrel is. And it's actually a lot easier to hold as well. Ooh, I really cannot wait to use these. And as always, you can use these on a multitude of surfaces. Now with the swatching done, let's see what our monthly challenge is. It is Creature Comforts. I don't know what to do with this, and there's like a million and one things that you can do with this. So as always, I'm going to have a think and I will get back to you. Again, so this is what I came up with. I may have cheapened down a bit and went with something similar to one the featured artist did, but I'm more into like the realistic animals with like bits of like clothing to them. You know, a bit like one of my favourite children's on than Beatrix Potter. If you don't know, I'm creating the most widely popular children's book, Peter Rabbit. So what I've got here is something that I have no idea what on earth it is. It is actually this creature. I don't know what it is. I went in Japan back in 2017 and our tour guide took us to a place called Miyajima, I think it was. And these animals were like all over and they were so cute. I took a lot of pictures and I really have no idea what on earth they are. But there's sort of like got a deer aspect to them, so there might be deer, I don't. And that's what I'm going to do. So what I've got is like a headshot, and because this was like from Japan, I wanted to throw in some accessories and comfy things and like little stars and that as a note in the Harajuku fashion. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck in and use these pens, so let's do it. I know the Harajuku fashion isn't exactly like autumnal, if that's even a word, but it is now. You know, and it's more of like pastels and bright colours, but you know, and I think it's quite nice just to have a bit of diversity. I don't know if it's going to come across as Harajuku, but I'm kind of hoping that the cuteness of it will, you know, suffice. And having been working on this for long and just the paint on this paper and it's just making it look like and even feels like I'm using felt tip markers. But you know what, I actually do quite like these pens. Honestly, just seeing these colours together like this and just makes me feel warm and cozy. I really do love autumn colours, and as you can see I am doing like a scarf. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, so the only thing that I could think of with these colours was just to do a scarf, you know, and I wanted to keep it simple but to give the animal like some human characteristics. Now I just want to go in and do some details. So this is now the make or break time. Don't know if you have actually noticed that I did put some like carrot accessories in there, because when we were on Miyajima, all of the other tourists were feeding these deer, you know, a whole bunch of carrots, so I thought it was like going to be a nice and cute thing to add. Now that looks quite cartoony in comparison, but you know what, I actually quite like it, and I haven't even done anything yet. And I'm going to be doing the accessories and the scarf and like more cartoony, and try and make the rest of them like more realistic. That's the plan anyway. But with the chunky nib like this, I have no idea if it's going to work. I'm not used to working with the chunky nibs, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to get some texture in, so it's not like too flat, because I know for a fact the horns do have texture into them. And as you can tell, I am starting off on the right and working my way over. It's just so that I don't accidentally stick my hand in something that's wet and then dragging everywhere. Why doesn't look like a hybrid of a deer and a polar bear? Now, even though then this is like quick and simple from the time I had to do on it, it was so much fun. I love how minimalistic it is, and how there is just like this bright pop of colour in like the sea of white. I didn't know if I wanted to put a background in or not, but I thought then with so much going on, adding a background was going to be way too much chaos. So I decided to leave it, even though then the face is actually blending way too much into it. But other than that, I actually quite like it. And I always love how it's like realistic with some like cartoony vibes to it, and it's just something totally different to what I'm used to. Alright, so just a couple of things, like these acrylic brush pens. Oh my life, I absolutely love them. As far as acrylic pens go, these were amazing to work with. Compared to the Poscas, I do not have these shades, as especially such a beautiful orange and like a deeper yellow, or even this really gorgeous red. And I do actually love how spongy the tips are, which is like a totally different experience. Now, as far as the tips go, and like complete personal preference, these are like sponge tips, and there is going to be quite a lot of flexibility with them, but I did actually really enjoy working with them, and the fact that paint comes out onto a sponge is just so awesome. And these are actually a lot less bulky and to hold as well, you know, it's more streamlined, and you've just got like more workability to it. With these Karin Deco brushes, you do get a lot more different colour variations, as opposed to Poscas when you're stuck with like just a handful. And they don't necessarily work well with this paper, and I'm not entirely too sure what paper does work. So I would recommend that you go see Casey Golden's video on from how to use Poscas and what paper is, you know, better than paint pens, you know, and it's just really all trial and error. But I definitely would love to get a larger set of these because they are so good. So I would definitely look into trying these. And of course the microns work so well with them. I mean, I did put the microns on top of the paint and it did work really, really well. You know, and the tip didn't get clogged up, you know, so long as you let the paint dry, it just worked like magic and I had no problems whatsoever. And working with the really large tip was actually quite fun as well. And I think I'm working really well with the style then to went with. And I'm actually quite surprised that the paper held up and it's so thick and I really want to get some more. And honestly, I really kind of fallen Clairefontaine from the quality of the papers, so that's another recommendation. So then it's January's box. So anyway, if you guys would like to have your own Scrawlrbox, I will leave a link in the description box below. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you all in the next video.